going on, everybody? Sparks Comics here. Let's talk about this week's top indie comic picks for New Comic Book Day on September 28th. As always, if you want to check out the links below and want to support the channel, we do have a coffee set up. There's a link down below to that. There is a merch store. There's a lot of different links down below, so go check those out. There's the website that has written reviews on it. I am a little bit behind on doing those. I will be hopefully working on some of that this weekend to try to catch up. But lots of links to check out below, so go check those out. But let's get into the top 10 picks. We got 3 number ones on the list this week. We got the end of a story arc on the list this week and some killer books overall. So let's get into this. First up, from Image Comics, from Chip Zdarsky and Roman K. Perez, we have Stillwater, issue number 15. Inching closer to the end of Stillwater here. It's a new day in Stillwater. Lives have been changed. The world is more open than ever, but the future is in danger, and it's up to Daniel to save it. As my number 10 pick, number 9 this week is issue number 9 of House of Slaughter from James Tynion IV, Sam Johns, Werther Delader, and Letizia Cadanici. Edwin finally comes face to face with the legendary monster he's been hunting. Against all odds, will he be able to survive the encounter? Meanwhile, we return to the past where a young child faces a very different kind of watery terror. I've been really enjoying this arc, actually, honestly, even more than the Aaron Slaughter arc of House of Slaughter. Mainly because I think I knew where Aaron was eventually going. We knew what was going to happen. There's nothing more, nothing mysterious about Aaron, I guess, in terms of his future could hold. It was cool learning about his past, but there's a lot more to discover in this arc about Edwin and about the Scarlet arc. So there's a lot more information I feel like I'm picking up and learning about the House of Slaughter from this, that I'm really enjoying Edwin's story, and I think it's a pretty cool character. So that's my number 9 pick. Number 8 this week, we're going to Sumerian Comics for Turbo Kid, Skeletron Unleashed, number 1. I believe it's a one-shot. It's the origin story of Skeletron, the villain from the cult movie Turbo Kid, now distributed on Amazon Prime, with a sequel film and video game in development, with this double-sized one-shot written by the directors and drawn by the storyboard artist of the original film, Jeek Dion. This is from the Happy Tank imprint, maybe one of the last Happy Tank books we see. I don't know what the future, I guess we'll find out at New York Comic Con, future of Happy Tank imprint within Sumerian, with the Happy Tank co-creators also doing Whatnot Publishing now. So I guess be a stay tuned to New York Comic Con. We'll find out what's coming up there. But I'm excited to see this character's origin. If you haven't watched Turbo Kid, you should go watch that. It's on Amazon Prime. I think it's also out there, maybe even on YouTube. But it's a really cool, nostalgic kind of story. Don't expect top-of-the-line production. Expect that kind of cheesy 80s production going on, and it's phenomenal from that perspective. That is my number 8 pick this week. Number 7, we got 8 Billion Genies, number 5 of 8. We're going into the first 8 months, in the 8 months after G-Day, when everyone on Earth acquired a genie and one wish. The world has become a very strange place, full of danger and whimsy and more danger. We need a hero for these times. We need the Idea Man. Charles Soule, Ryan Brown bringing this one to us from Image Comics, and it's been one hell of a ride so far. If you haven't read this, just bought it because of the hype, go pick up your copy, read through it, and be happy that you did, because 8 Billion Genies is a fantastic story. I am loving every second of this. These characters that are being developed through this. It's just a really cool world. Really cool idea that they took and built out here, and it got a lot of hype because it got optioned, but I think where we really should be looking at the hype on this one is the fact that it is very good, very good. Moving forward from that one, that is my number 7 pick. Number 6, we have Heart Eyes number 2 from Dennis Hopeless and Victor Ibanez. Vault Comics bringing us this one. This is issue 1, fantastic emotional story. Lupe is run off to meet the monsters. Rico has to catch her or lose her forever. This strange smiling girl who stole his heart. But what's Lupe's story? Where did she come from? Why doesn't she fear the monsters that ate the world? Based on what we got from the very first issue of this, I can see this being a very emotional type of story. And for me, I feel like I'm looking for that kind of thing right now, because a lot of stories got a lot of action, a lot of cool things going on. 8 Billion Genies has a lot of that. I don't have as much of the super emotional side of things happening in 8 Billion Genies, but I love it. I love these different genres that we're getting from all these indie creators, and that is why I always say indie comics are the best comics. Best ones to check out all of these different varied story ideas. That takes me to the number 5 pick with one of my favorite right now story ideas that we got going on, and execution on this is incredible. Stephanie Phillips and Flaviano bringing us Grimm, issue number 5 from Boom Studios, with Rico Renzi on the colors. Truth behind Jessica Harrow's mysterious death and her connection to the Grim Reaper is finally revealed. But how does this connect to her unique abilities and the ancient force known only as the End? The epic first arc of the breakout hit of 2022 concludes here, revealing macabre secrets of what lies ahead for the future of the series. This one was doing so well that instead of ending at issue 5, it is becoming an ongoing. Looks like we're getting a flashback to thousands of years ago based on the previous pages we got in here, and this just looks incredible, phenomenal, well done. It looks like they're pulling in a slightly different art style for that, which I love. But just a fantastic story. If you haven't read it, I recommend picking up the issues, maybe waiting for the trade if you're more into a trade reading. But this story right here is one not to miss. Just like it got compared to Something's Killing Children, I don't think it's the same in that regard that people make the comparison, but it is one of those stories you don't want to miss in that same regard. Because it's just so well written by Stephanie Phillips, and I can't say enough about Flaviano's art and Rico's colors. Just phenomenal. And that's my number 5 pick. Number 4, we're going back to Vault Comics for End After End issue number 2 from Tim Daniel and D.B. Andre, with art by Sunando C, colors by Kurt Michael Russell, letters by Jim Campbell. We're all the heroes of our own stories. Although his life has ended, Walt's story has just begun. With Grink as his guide, Walt travels into the unknown to retrieve a mystical relic. But when he falters, a fellow warrior illuminates a dark truth. To wear the hero's mantle in the End After End, you must seize it. I've read this one too. This was part of the previews that I got when I previewed End After End originally. And it gets, if you loved issue 1, it gets even better in issue 2. I love this idea that there is this end after the end, that maybe you can become the hero of your story. Maybe you can do something during this, and who knows what happens after that then in this world. It could just be the end, and now you kind of get this restful end, but maybe that's not it. So I'm intrigued by the idea. I'm intrigued by where they could go with this. Just phenomenal execution so far by the creative team, and go join in on the fun. It's a great series coming from Vault Comics. My number 4 pick. Number 3 this week is one of those number 1s, and that one is going to The Roadie, issue number 1 from Tim Seeley and Fran Galan. A horror saga about nostalgia, heavy metal music, hell, and redemption. More than 35 years after his heyday, a former heavy metal roadie must return to the back roads of America to do the job he thought he retired from, Exorcist. Didn't see that one coming now, did you? But this time, he's not saving groupies and drunk bassists, he's trying to save his daughter. Coming from Dark Horse Comics, I just can't recommend checking this one out enough just based on the idea. And Tim Seeley puts out some great stories. Frangalon's art is fantastic. I loved it on Lucky Devil. So that is my number 3 pick. Number 2 this week, we're going with Flawed issue number 1 from Chuck Brown and Prenzy. Bitterroot co-writer Chuck Brown and superstar artist Prenzy from On the Stump reunite for this ultra-violent, high-octane limited series that's Frasier meets the Punisher. Jem Ez is a psychiatrist of the Kafka-esque city of Setham, where corruption and brutality rule the streets. By day, she uses words to solve her patients' problems. By night, she takes a more direct and sometimes deadly approach. But when her practice puts her in the sights of an immortal serial killer, Jem finds herself embroiled in a power struggle that threatens everything she's ever known. The Frasier meets Punisher piece really got me. I love the artwork on the previous pages for this. I'm excited to see what this is about. I haven't read Bitterroot, and I feel bad about that because that is one I keep getting recommended. So I'm excited to check out another one of Chuck Brown's books instead. And eventually I will get to the trade paperback of Bitterroot, at least the volume 1, and then continue from there. But number 2 pick, Flawed, number 1. And my number 1 this week goes to a story from Boom Studios, and that is Briar number 1 from Christopher Cantwell and Germain Garcia. What if Sleeping Beauty never got her happily ever after and instead had to save herself? Set in a brutal fantasy world that time forgot, it isn't the fairy tale you knew. Eisner Award winning writer, producer, and director Christopher Cantwell he puts out such great stories, so many stories. And then we got Germain Garcia from Khazar, Lord of the Savage Land, reimagining classic tale as an epic dark fantasy adventure. There's some previous pages of kind of the lighter side of things, and then taking you a little bit into that transition to the darkness. I'm excited to see how different this story can be if she is saving herself. Like what kind of bad things is Sleeping Beauty going to go through in this journey? It's a 4-issue miniseries. I like that we're getting some of these like fairy tales reimagined. So this is the latest one of those, and that's my number 1 pick. So thanks again for watching. Like I said before, check out the links below. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you are looking forward to this new comic book day, whether that be indie books or not. And drop a like on the video on your way out. And as always, collect what you love. See you next time.